Hi, this is Stephanie from Sew It Online, and we are here with our Elna Explorer 160 today, and I'm going to show you some best practices on how to thread the machine, wind a bobbin, and get the needle threaded and everything. So stay tuned here and we'll get started. So we're at our Elna machine here, and I'm going to go ahead and thread this machine up. Now there is a bobbin in here, so I'm also going to show you how to wind a bobbin for this machine as well. So I'm going to lean this machine down, and we've got a few numbers here to show you where everything is going. So I'm going to put a spool cap on here just to lock that thread on there. So we've got a couple different ones, and that is for the bobbin winder. So one here and down is for threading, one and over is for our bobbin winder. So I'm going to wind a bobbin first for you guys so you can see how I'm winding it here. And I'm going to thread two-handed, and I'm going to draw it back behind. There's a little metal hook there, and it's going to draw under this other little metal hook, and then it's going to draw through our bobbin winder, and it'll kind of hold there because it's a little spring-loaded piece there. And from here we're going to go over to our bobbin holder. So with our bobbins, there's a few holes in the bobbins. I'm going to feed the end of our thread and make sure that we have a nice clean end to go through there, and it's going to go through one of the holes through the top. So that is going to sit on our bobbin winder, and then we're going to slide the bobbin over so it can start winding. Now I'm going to hold this thread up here as I start to wind the bobbin with the foot pedal, and I'm going to give it a little bit, and then I'm able to clip that thread nice and close. So once I continue on, it's going to keep winding the bobbin nice and full for us. So whenever it gets full, it's going to start to stop just a little bit, and that's when we'll know that it is full and ready to go. I'm not going to wind it full today just to show you, but it's winding nice and easy on there for you. You definitely do not want to have a bobbin wind like this, where it's all loopy and loose. That's if it didn't get into that tension just enough there. So we don't want loopy bobbin, we want a nice clean bobbin. So I'm going to slide our bobbin over, clip our thread, and then we're going to wind the thread down so we can thread our machine. So I'm just going to take it out of that little tension area, because that is the same step to thread as well. So I'm going to two-handed thread. I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go around. But what I don't see is our little hook area up here. So we might not have that needle in the right spot to be able to thread. So I'm going to turn our hand real quick, and there pops up our little hook. So we need to see that before we're able to thread this machine. So I'm going to come back up, and I'm going to go from right to left to hook in there. And then I can set the machine back down and come down here. Now there's a little hook back here that it fits into right at the needle bar. Now this machine does not have a needle threader, but that's not going to let us worry us today, because we have a little needle threading tool here. This will also insert your needle into your machine up here, but today we're using the threader portion. So we've got a little arrow, and then this little area here where we are going to fit the thread into. So we are going to draw the thread into the little center portion there. I'm going to kind of work in here. So I'm going to draw it across there, and it's going to draw down the needle, and then it's going to push in once it hits the eye of the needle. And now there's a little hook on the back here that I can draw the thread through the needle. These things are indispensable little tools. If you do not have a needle threader on your machine, we're not going to let that worry us today. So now I can get ready and start sewing, because we already have a bobbin loaded. But I will show you on here with my purple bobbin here how we are going to thread this machine at the bobbin. So our bobbin is going to wind off to the left. It's going to fit in the machine, and there is a little silver hook there, and it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little silver piece in here that the thread has to fit under. So I'm going to kind of lock it in there and draw it over to the left. And I'm going to hold the bobbin thread, and I'm going to hold the top thread. And I'm going to leave the door off just for right now. So I'm going to make sure that I've got a straight stitch on the machine. I'm going to go back over here to stitch A. And I'll show you more about these dials here in just a minute. I want to go ahead and turn my hand wheel. And you're going to watch the thread come around that rotary hook. And it's going to loop up and around. And our bobbin thread is going to come right out the hole here for the thread. I'm going to use the little tool on there to hook it out. And now I can put that little cover back on. So now I've got my top and my bottom thread ready to go. I'm going to put some fabric in here. I'll lower our presser foot. And right now I've got it at A, and it's in between a 1 and a 2 first stitch length. So I can move it back and forth however I want to. And I've also got the little lever to do reverse. So I'm going to hold these tails to start. And then I'm going to go ahead and start stitching. If I want to hit reverse, I just hold down the lever, and I'll go back as far as I need to. We can stop, and then we're going to give ourselves a nice long tail, cut from the side, and just remember to leave a tail here for the next start of stitching that we're doing. And you'll notice on here, we've got some blue stitches here, and there's a little blue portion on this dial. So I'm going to turn over to here. These are our stretch stitches. So any of our stretch stitches that we would use for garments, anything like that that has a stretch to it, that's the kind of stitches that we are going to use on those fabrics. So if I want to do a triple zigzag, a triple straight, I'm going to go to that stitch number on here, as well as our blue stitch straight or stretch stitches that are on here, whether I go a little bit more to the plus or a little bit more to the minus side. I can go through here, and I can go through our stretch stitches. And I really like the triple straight on here, as well as any of the other stitches, but the triple straight works really nice for heavy duty sewing. So it's going to give a much heavier stitch than just a regular straight stitch on this machine. If we need to adjust our tensions, we've got a nice little tension dial. And then obviously, if we want to get back to sewing regular, we'll just move our dials back, and we're ready to start sewing again with our regular stitches here. And that is a little bit about our Elna Explorer 160 here. Stay tuned for more videos on all of these machines on Sew It Online.